rolls in a cold breeze. Steel boots on the sand, no ease. Propellers hum the Soviet quest, but the island ain't weak, not less. Hot tanks roaring loud and clear. Zombie hula girls, no fear. Tiki terrors rise, eyes ablaze. Soviets drown in the island haze. Island don't surf, island don't win. Tiki terrors won't let them in. Hot tanks make the ground shake. Zombie hula girls, hearts won't break. Under moonlight chants they clash. Steel meets flame, bones will thrash. Cold War's heat, the island's grip. Tiki rage will never slip. Drums beat, wild waves take hold. Soviet shiver, hearts turn cold. In the depths of night they fail. Tiki terror's ancient tale. Island don't surf, island don't win. Tiki terrors won't let them in. Hot tanks make the ground shake. Zombie hula girls, hearts won't break. Hearts won't break.
Howdy, thanks for joining me again on another Too Late Tonight with Tiki. How is everybody doing? Excited to be here. I know, starting an hour early. You know, we're working on that new time. We're trying to do the test in the 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern. That 1 a.m. comes quick. So I apologize for being a few minutes past my time. How dare I? As you can see on the work desk we have, I got a lot of Konflikt 47 stuff. We've completed the Coyote. I still have my 2 heroes to paint. Started working on the Siberian Terrors. We've actually finished painting, or mostly finished painting, our Ghost Attack Squad. You can kind of see it in a little bit. I'm actually priming the daughters right now as we speak. And yeah, I actually got a new box in. The British automated carrier. So like I said, we'll probably finish building the Siberians, finish priming the daughters, and probably work on some of the daughters and prime the Siberians, and then we'll figure out kind of where we want to go from there. And then I think next stream we'll start building and working on the automated Britain carrier. Hey, what's going on, RIK? I know, man. I think I've been working on Konflikt 47, man. You've been put into overdrive. You've been killing it, man. Oh, hold on. My thing's messed up here. Fix thyself. Okay, cool. There it is. It's my little picture voice thing. Sometimes it kind of freaks out a little bit. And yes, there is a poll. So like I said, we'll check that about midway through. We'll still do our one piece of Japanese tank or weaponry, but we'll also started doing a little bit of Konflikt 47 stuff too as well. Oh wait, a little bit more stuff's kind of covered in the streams because I'm so far behind on making my videos. But when I find the time, I'll definitely make the time to make it happen. As you can see, this is how the Soviet terrorists end up coming out looking. They're actually pretty cool. They generally have a knife and assault rifle. I'll just check the rules. I'm not sure if they come with an assault rifle or a submachine gun, but I'll double check the rules. Alright, well, I'm looking that up. Feel free to go and take a vote on what unit to talk about today. Alright. Sorry, just double checking a few things here. Alright. We're gonna get started on these guys. So what we do with this as far as building them, nothing too crazy. Like I said, we generally just kind of clean up some of the excess flashes on them. Get them all cleaned up and then we start putting the actual little arms and legs on them. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, okay. Like I said, I am working on those videos. It just takes time. But I have no doubt that some fearless YouTuber who does this full time is excited for Konflikt 47 will probably start putting out the lore. I imagine someone like Luton or someone else like that who's highly skilled in that and has more of a narrator style voice will knock it out of the park. But it's my goal to finish at least all the theater lore by September and hopefully most of the units. I got some days planned to kind of sit down, just get some serious recording done. Hopefully that'll help Warlord Games with their pre-sales. I don't think they'll need my help with anything. I think it's gonna sell pretty well, but we'll see. Alright, so we got this guy. Alright, so the hand I have is a left hand. So I need a right-handed assault rifle from the metal. I think like many other people, I am not going to miss these metal minis. Nice, man. I'm excited about seeing your tropical Germans. I really am. Push these to the far back so I'm a little bit more room to work here. And once the daughters are done being primed, I'll bring them up here. Right now I'm just trimming and cutting the flashes off. Yeah, I've actually heard bad things about the that automated brain carrier. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as like the humbler car or some of the German armored cars, but I hear it's pretty rough to build, so I'm like, ee. Alright, just cleaning up his little weapon here. Hey, what's going on? It's Quick Hunter Sean. Alright, let's get this guy's hands glued on. You painting on anything? Quick Hunter Sean, you still working on that Stampa? Did you, I think you finished it. If my terrible memory serves correct. Very descriptive, although albeit somewhat out of order, but you do you. Nice. Man, I haven't had a Capri Sun in years, so it's delicious. They were buy one get one at my local grocery store. So speaking of crap and shitting, so what's going on? For those of you who are more knowledgeable, what's going on with the Warhammer 40k meta? Did they come out with a new data slate or something like that? I hear something about Tau. Was it this year's version of the Tau nerf and guard nerf and Tau buff? So that's my only fear for Konflikt, is that they do that kind of thing where like every few months they'll like try and rebalance things. I just personally never been a fan of that. But also the competitive games, I think those two go hand in hand. There we go. Nice. Another vodka and antifreeze blooded Siberian Terror. I will say, there are some good sculpts. Yeah, I get same thing with that arcade. I'm not the biggest fan of that either. I'm hoping when they have all the books come out, they'll be nice and steady about it. You know, nice and relaxed and steady. I think a yearly errata is perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Especially if you're putting out a book every couple of months, I don't think an additional FAQ is ever needed. I hear you, Sean. I need to reorganize mine. I'm actually about to finally put away all my Dungeons and Dragons books, which is like a massive amount, and use that space for something else. So under this has a glass cabinet. It has my Imperial Japanese Army on the bottom left. It has a lot of my Konflikt 47 stuff on the top left. Top right is my Project Army, so I'm pretty sure it has some of my Imperial Japanese Navy, some of the Americans I was working on. I think the bottom right's empty, but then on the cabinet across the way, on the top left, I have all my Crimson Skies models for that actual tabletop game, for that WizKids tabletop game, and all the rules. So a lot of those pilots and planes. On the top right, I have my Crimson Skies themed, Tomb Raider style army that needs to be built. And then the whole bottom part is nothing but orcs. I have the 10 awesome orcs. That Sean painted me, plus all the ones I need to paint that I have built. And I have 3 trucks. Nice try. I clearly said errata and not erotica. I don't even want to put the image of Konflikt 47 erotica out there. Knowing what I know of romance literature and its fascination with wolves and bears, it's not a good idea. I leave that to Reddit, or abandon all hope, ye who enter there. On the plus side, while I'm still working on some stuff, depends which one of those books you breathe, okay? But I may have another game of Konflikt 47 coming up before I even get the bat rep for the other one done. Somebody's interested in seeing it and trying to figure out what faction they want to play when everything drops, and so they're kind of torn between Germans or Americans, which sounds perfect for the starter set, right? But I may set up a 500 point Konflikt 47 game at one of my local shops. Probably be my Actually, now they're done, I'll probably run IJN, maybe. I'll probably run my IJN versus their Germans. Hey, what's going on, Bad Rabbit? Joke's on you, Sean. That's secretly my day job. I'm just I'm an audiobook narrator for erotica. You caught me. Just like Betty White. Oh, Betty White. No, you can keep coming up with clever names. It's never gonna happen. But a cool thing, Bob the Gene Stealer, who's over at Thanatos right now, he actually has his own homemade Tiki shirt, which is pretty cool. The Cult of the Translucent Objective Markers. He made me one of the shirts too. It's actually pretty cool. Actually, speaking of erotica and Tiki, ironically, it's actually an interesting topic. There's a crossover. RK, you'll probably get a kick out of this. I've actually pulled some good recipes from it. There's a book out there. I gotta think what it's called. It's something hilariously dumb. Okay, here it is. Look up Tiki Surf Witches Want Blood. So it's like an old school style comic. You know, obviously there's a lot of titillation. They're Tiki girls. But they're also like evil witches and they eat and sacrifice people. But it's cool. It's kind of like a darker version of like Scooby-Doo kind of, but like as it goes along through the comic, they drop like Tiki drinks into it. Like, let's say they're getting chased on like a wave and they're surfing away from like some skeletons. It'll be like, you know, Hang Ten Tear or something like that. They'll come up with their own drink. It's actually got some really good drink recipes in it. Yeah, so this is exactly this, you know, it's exactly what it's gonna be. That's gonna be one of my Paragons, and that's gonna be the Shadow. One of the Paragon things you can take for a PSU, Paragon support unit, actually works out pretty perfect for him. So this one I'll probably take as like, you know, the SMG and the Tank Hunter. You know, he's my Captain America. But there's another one that he actually fits perfect for. me look it up real quick. I think it's in the second book. Nope, I guess he's in the third book. Okay, here we go. Paragon support unit. Yeah, so you could take up to you could take different types of Paragon NCOs. There's 4 types. So type A, which probably what we use this guy for, comes with an SMG, gives the squad he also is strong, and he grants the squad the tank hunter special rule. And then for this guy, yeah, I'm gonna use Paragon type C. So he's gonna have a pistol and a sword. So I just, instead of a sword, I imagine pistol whipping. He gets the tooth and claw rule, and his whole unit gets the fanatic rule. So I figure that's pretty good for the shadow. Yeah, another good one for that RK. I'm trying to find a good model for it. Is I want to get a Wolverine. Because like in the comic books, you know, he served and fought like a lot of different wars, including World War II. So really cool. I have to think what Marvel cartoon it was, but it was following Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. It was like a throwaway scene, but it was the coolest thing ever. So Sergeant Fury had his Howling Commandos, and he was moving up with Captain America and Bucky. And I think he turned to like yell at his like RTO. He's like, "Hey, when can I get that radio?" He's like, "When it's ready, bub." And it was like this weirdest thing. They cut the scene away, but I was like, "Did you just say bub?" And sure enough, if you go back and look at it, it's actually Wolverine. Wolverine's his RTO. And I don't know how canon it is. I'm not a super big comic book guy. I read enough to like know what I like, I guess, but it was kind of cool to imagine that Wolverine, you know, was in the Howling Commandos under Sergeant Fury and working with Captain America. So the rules for the Paragon squads are in the second book. So yeah, the book for the Paragon squads are in the Resurgence book, but the Paragon for the rules for the Paragon support units is in the third book, Defiance. Ooh, that would be good. Yeah, if Captain America was the guy who rescued him from the camps, that would be good. There were some really good, I forgot who made it. They were called like Punisher Max, and then they made Fury Max. They were good comics, really good comics. And so it covers Fury from World War II all the way when he becomes Agent Fury. Starts working for like the CIA and then SHIELD. So he gets deployed to, at that time, what was considered Indochina, aka modern day Vietnam. So he gets sent there, kind of working with the French Foreign Legion and kind of like, you know, trying to pacify the region, and then he goes away, and then he has to come back in the next comic during Vietnam, and it's really cool. He's getting inserted. He's like, "Yeah, I don't need a partner. You know, he doesn't have Buck anymore." Like, nah, it's cool. We'll pair you up with this one, you know, with a sniper. He's actually really good. He's done some time in country. It's like, oh, what's his name? It's like, oh, it's Castle, Captain Castle. And I was like, oh, holy shit, that's Frank Castle. Like, that's Punisher. So it's really cool. Like in Vietnam, at the time, Agent Fury and Captain Castle were working together. It's pretty cool. And this is before Shield and before, obviously, Punisher became Punisher. It's kind of a cool little comic book moment. Oh, snap. Looks like we actually have a 4-way tie so far on the poll. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people model their armies off that, off the scientific reserve style thing from the movies. That's really cool. In the comic books, it's really cool. Unfortunately, HS, I can't advise you accurately on that. I don't have a crystal ball, buddy. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna run that. They say no unit is gonna be, you know, mothballed or legends, to use a Warhammer 40k term, but they'll have different rules, so I'm not sure how it's gonna work. Yeah, I don't think they'll be getting rid of the American Super Soldier as a unit concept. I think that's pretty stereotypical style, like sci-fi American. I think that's pretty iconic, you know. I don't think they'll be getting rid of that. Like I said, they may just change it a little bit. The Germans have plenty of super soldiers. They're just not very human. Oh no, I think I cut off the wrong hand here. Yep, I certainly did. That is a right hand. Whoops. That looked a little weird. I was cutting it, I was trying to glue it on. I was like, why is the thumb in a weird place? It's like, oh, it's a stabbing motion. Oh, it's the wrong hand. Whoops. Sorry, no worries, no worries, no worries. What? How did you do your snow bathing, RK? What do you recommend for these guys? Did you use that AK interactive snow frock, or like a snowy base? There we go. He's got a nice little shank there. Definitely gonna paint these guys with orange pants. I know orange probably wasn't the actual penal legion color back then. I'm pretty sure they used like stripes and a bunch of other stuff, but I'm gonna like that look, and I want to always try and represent the penal legion we got going on. All right, I'll have to try that. Not a bad idea, HS. Do you spray like a matte varnish down to seal it? Or do you go back over with glue? Okay, yeah, then a sealer. Yep, there it is. Read my mind, sir. I just worry about like using a sealer and just watching that dust fly everywhere, you know, or that baking soda. It's a cool idea though. I may try that too. I may experiment. All right. I could just be them pissing in the snow. That's a good point. Sorry, I need to be better about reading these out loud. So yeah, Squiggle Sean says baking soda will eventually yellow. But if you're not worried about long-term display, it's not that big of a deal. What kind of skin do you think for these guys? Because they're like half frozen. Think like a light skin, almost like a pale blue skin. Yeah, I'm with you, HS. HS says, to be honest, I don't do a lot of winter stuff. Mostly do spring and summer stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm not tired of it. I'm not in Alaska, so I don't see it like you do. But I just never really been a big fan of wintry stuff. Yeah, RK, I think you're right. Maybe like an icy blue or pale gray. Bonsai Spoon, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the stream. We're working on some more Konflikt 47 stuff. Finishing up my second to last Siberian Tear. We're just debating on what color to do their flesh. We started talking about that absolutely terrible thing called winter snow. Yep. Every time I build metal models, I understand why some people like them, especially people who are able to paint really well and enjoy painting details, but I like my modular plastic kits. Call me a poser or a Johnny come lately if you want, but I've built enough metal models to know I don't prefer metal models over modular plastic. I can see that. I can see where some people would like the glue, the gun in hand style, like the older Soviet ones. Alright, last guy left. Then I'll probably pop up, refill my coffee. Take the daughters outside, give them another coat of primer, and see if we can get them up here. Once they're dry and start painting on them. Yeah, so my plan for a 500 point American army is for Konflikt 47 for demo is going to be let me double check. Let's see what it is. So I'm pretty sure I have it open still. Yeah. All right, okay, no, not that list. So I'm trying to find the one I built. Okay, yeah, nice, here we go. All right. So for a list I built, I can take a second lieutenant, I can take 2 Paragon support unit squads. Or Paragon, yeah, so 2 Paragon support unit squads, a bazooka team, and a Coyote Light Walker. I think that'll be pretty good, actually. And hey, the points for this one to be elite, which means they can get ordered twice. They just can't be consecutive. So you pull their dice, you do a full order with them. And then you take that dice and put it back in the bag, and you can pull it again later for them. It just can't be the next unit, if that makes sense. No, RK, the second lieutenant plus an adjutant for him, the bazooka team, and the Coyote Light Walker would all be regulars. No, I'm just running this. I'm just running them with SMGs and BARs. Like I said, nothing too crazy. No grenade launchers, no heavy Tesla rifles. Just running them as normal. So yeah, on elite, on completion of order, yeah, so with the exception of assault or down. So on the completion of an order, with the exception of assault or down, they may take an order test as normal. If successful, return the order dice back to the dice cup. May not be the next unit activated. So it's not bad. I mean, you can't like do crazy bonsai charges with them, you know, but still not bad. With that many SMGs and BARs and again a chance to shoot twice, oof, that could be absolutely nasty. And most importantly, hey, what's going on, Evan? How you doing, brother? Nice, yeah. Please tell Chancey I said hi. Good. OG friend of the channel, Evan's joining us. He's currently He's behind enemy lines in the United Kingdom, so. But the thing about Conflict 47 is you got to remember how assault works a little bit differently. So I don't have my order dice anymore, but I do have a die. So if this unit hasn't gone yet, and another unit kind of moves into assault, you know, this unit can choose to either stand and fire, or so they can either try and do an order test to either shoot, or they can get their shoot in if they haven't done an order yet. But even when these guys assault, they have the chance on whether they want to stand and fire or whether they want to attack and melee. So it makes combat a lot easier. So if you have them as this, let's say these are normal Americans. So if you have this as a Paragon support unit, let's say they've already done one order to they advance, so they move and they shot at these guys, right? And then you do an order test and they pass their order test because they're elite. You take their dice back and put it back in the bag. So now they still have an order available. So there, where if someone tries to charge them, they can do another order test to see if they can actually shoot, and then they can. Yeah, so that's actually pretty damn awesome. I've charged a unit before that didn't have an order dice on it, and they stood and shot, and it was absolutely lethal. So. Yep. And like you said, Americans still have the old school fire maneuver as well, which is super nice. Nice, man. Look at you having a wheel and deal and meeting the owner, getting 50% discount. Man, that is absolutely awesome, man. Congratulations. How's your jet lag treating you, good buddy? Put these mummies back where they belong. Nobody wants their mummy roaming around. Sorry, I don't know why my guy looked so angry. Let me fix that. He's got the shifty eyes. Alright, I fixed his shifty eyes. I'm telling you, so it's so funny that is the only Doctor Who episode I've ever seen, but apparently from what I hear, it's one of the best. The whole, you know, are you my mummy gas mask kid thing. So I just thought Doctor Who was like a sci-fi horror show. I thought it was cool. Apparently that one episode is not a accurate portrayal of the entire show. Squiggle to Sean, your Tiki lore is getting more and more outrageous. I love it. It's hilarious. Alright, there's our last little firearm for this guy. Let's get him built. So Evan got to go to the Promised Land. Got to see the Warlord headquarters. I'm so jealous. Hey, what's going on, Francois? How you doing, buddy? Ooh, bring in the, there you go, Bad Rabbit, bring in the 20 mil. I would highly recommend a 20. Oh my god, yes, yeah, a 20 mil would absolutely do some damage on these small little 500 point tactical battles. Oh yeah, that's how you lock down a zone of a map with a 20 mil. Absolutely. So Bad Rabbit said he has a revised list for the Clash of the Caribbean cruise. He's going to play it when he has his 2 centimeter built. Bonsai, buddy. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll start doing list reviews. I mean, yeah, you know what? Yeah, sure, why not? Throw them up there. I'll give you a list review for what it's worth. I'm not a competitive player. I just have fun, but I will give you my 2 cents worth. Yes, RK, if you're comfortable with it, DM me your address, because I told you I'd give you those swim wagons. So as soon as you give me your address, I'll mail you off those 3 swim wagons that I owe you. They should be the proper scale. Just DM me directly on Discord. Shit, let me open up my Discord. There you go. Boom. Now we're back in business. So how you liking the United Kingdom? Is it all sunshine and rainbows? All beans and toast all day every day? Oh, I did have Yorkshire pudding when I went. It was delicious. Now, that being said, if you send me a list, let me know if you want me to review it on the stream, because, like I said, 2 of you guys are already in the stream, already going to the Clash of the Caribbean, so, you know, let me know. But yeah, the 2 centimeter, I think is a great idea, Bad Rabbit. I think that's gonna absolutely dominate. That'll punch through. That could punch through some. That'll punch through some cover. That could do some damage on some of those 7-up armored vehicles. Alright, RK, I see your list. Let me get that real quick. Sorry, my Chihuahua felt like he had to chime in. So like I said, one of the missions is absolutely going to be the bad habit mission. Once I finish the website and the rules pack, I'll get it out to you guys. One of them's going to be the bad habit mission. So with that, you guys know you're going to need at least enough infantry units to grab the nun or nuns and pull them off the table. So it's like a modified top secret mission. I think one of the other missions is just going to be like a beach landing. The first turn will be night fighting rules, and then each turn after that you'll roll a dice. So on the second turn, on a 4, 5, or 6, you know, a flare goes up or it's daylight, you know. And if it's 1, 2, and 3, it stays night, and then on the third turn, it becomes daylight automatically, you know. But for that one, I think it's just going to be secure and hold 2 objectives. You know, it'll be like 2 dog heads on the beach, basically, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure. That's something I'm gonna be play testing. That's why I want to play all these like 500-point games with people, because I want to like get some of these like tests in, you know, on how I want to do it. So for the beach, it may just be a simple, just a kill point thing, you know. That way, make it easy. Because I think for the second one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do, you know, take and hold objectives, and what they'll be is they'll be airdrop supplies. So we'll pick, you know, 3 spots on the table, and then we'll roll 2d6 and have them absolutely scatter, and just have you guys come on and try and secure those supplies. Let me glue his knife hand on. I'll read out your list, buddy. Hey, it sounds great to me. It's exactly the point I was going for. I was hoping people would just take fun lists. Like the stuff you've wanted to play with, but you were worried like you would get like stomped at an event. Yeah, thematic works. And you know me, the tables are going to be thematic. So if you're trying to be tropical, that's probably going to play to your advantage, you know? I can tell you, so the 3 maps we know of, we know there's going to be jungle ruins, an airfield, and a beach, like a beach landing, right? So the jungle ruins is going to have some rivers in it, some actual rivers. All right, let's get to his list. So we got here. And I will get those vehicles sent to you, good buddy. All right. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. I'm assuming that means something tropical German, something something. I'm not even going to struggle to mispronounce that shit. Hey, what's going on, Evolution of Gaming? Right now we're doing a list review for RK. It's a 500-point bolt action list review for an event we have coming up, Clash of the Caribbean. Alright, so I'm seeing you're taking a platoon commander with an adjutant, both veterans, and it looks like they're taking 2 submachine guns. Very nice. Jeez, I'm about to butcher these things. Alright, Straptruppen squad. I don't fucking know. Zio with 3 soldiers. Looks like they have 4 rifles. You have Defend the Fatherland, the Griebesjäger. Ooh, so they have Infiltrator. Fieldcraft and Infiltrator. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to do real well. Yeah, Fieldcraft and Infiltrator are 2 absolutely golden rules. Nice. Same thing to Griebesjäger squad, late war. 7 guys in an NCO, so you're looking at 5 rifles, 3 assault. They're all veterans as well. 5 rifles, 3 assault rifles, and 2 Panzerfausts. Assault from the assault rifles. Yeah. 1 shot with shape charge. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see the Fieldcraft. You'll have to talk to me about the winter equipment. Hey, Mad Larkin, what's going on? Yeah, there's a coyote right there. He's hiding behind the shadow nose. You'll have to talk to me about the winter equipment and what that does. So we can kind of at least, maybe we can like theme it to like tropical equipment, you know? Just theming wise, not really changing the rules. Okay, so you took 2 of those. Oh yeah, that Fieldcraft is gonna do wonders for you. Anti-tank rifle team, absolutely highly recommend. Whoa. Oh, you're able to take the Griebsjäger rule or whatever for your anti-tank rifle, so they also get Fieldcraft. And 1 Schwimmwagen with no weapon. Okay, that is a very cool and a very thematic list. So basically he has 2 8-man squads where they have 3 assault rifles and 5 rifles and 2 Panzerfausts. He has an anti-tank rifle for like kind of long range, kind of cover fire, I'm assuming. And then he also has another infantry squad that's just 4 people. They have rifles, but they're also infiltrators. And then his command team is, everyone's veteran, is an officer and an adjutant. They both have SMGs. So yeah, he's got medium range, long range, short range covered. He's also got a whip. He's got a Schwimmwagen. So you can go, oh yeah. That's a solid ass list, RK. Well, and 499 on the dot. Yes, well done. Under 500. What a great list, RK. Well done. Very, very well done. That is I want to play against that list. That sounds like an absolutely fun list. Oh god, it's a cool list. Alright, let me take a look at Bad Rabbits. So, we just finished building our Siberian Terrors. Let me take a look. No, okay, so if you're using Easy Army, what you can do is, when you go to Easy Army, just go to, View, and then once you have it in View, you can go to Output, and then you can just do, PDF, and then you can just send me the PDF, Bad Rabbit, and I'll look at it. So yeah, go back to Easy Army, go to your list, and just hit View, and then go to Output and hit PDF, save that PDF, and kick it to me in a DM on Discord, and I'll take a look at it. But hey man, what I said Mad Larkin, man. Oh man, I'm so happy. I got Evolution, I got Mad Larkin, even Evan's kicking around here, man. All the OGs, I appreciate it. But yeah, we have a Coyote we just finished. I'm trying to work on some Americans as well. I'm gonna get this Captain America knockoff from Anvil Miniatures. I'm gonna get him painted up here soon. I'm gonna get my The Shadow painted, and they're gonna be my Paragons for a Paragon support unit. So then I'll have 2 Paragon support units, a Coyote Light Walker, a Bazooka team, and a second lieutenant with an adjutant, and that'll be a 500-point American team that can run around and do some damage. I think they do. I'll double check. Yes, they do. I missed that. Yeah, your officers, they're also the Griebsjäger. So yeah, you do have Fieldcraft. Yeah, that Fieldcraft's gonna be huge, man. I think you're really gonna kick ass on the Jungle Ruins map, definitely, and it makes sense what those guys are kitted out for. So, and I think you'll do depending on which side you get. If you're attacking or defending, you'll likely do pretty well on the beach landing. We'll see. Alright, let me refill my coffee and put another coat on the Daughters of the Motherland. and then we'll pick right back up. I shall return here momentarily. Alrighty, I'm back. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I like to take these little breaks here to get a refill my cup of coffee. Kind of helps these little bit longer streams, you know. Alright, so guys can probably tell I did add something to the table. I did add my Ursa Symmetry. I put them up here because I want to try and keep this pattern for how I want my daughters. Because again, I'm trying to focus more on a South American Caribbean theme, even for them, so. Yes, I think it's I think the appropriate term is the Pervectin, or what was the what was the name of the meth back then? Pervamectin, I want to say. Something like that. All right, better. Let me put a few of these daughters up on the table, and I'll take a look at that list. Yeah, so far you guys are building cool thematic lists that I think will do well. When I say well, I don't mean like competitive. I'm talking about like on the map. I think it's very thematic and going to be cool. Oh, it's Pervitin. Why do I think it's Permectin? I don't know what the hell that is. As you can tell, I condition of it sounds kind of douchey to say, but I definitely read more than I watch or listen. So I see words, I'm just like, I have no idea how to fucking pronounce that word. Some of these need another coat. I think this one pose is my favorite, this like Wolverine style pose. Cool. Right, the other four need another coat, especially on top. No worries. Yes, Mad Larkin, I appreciate that. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I don't know how long I'll be able to be your Konflikt 47 resident expert, only because I don't know how much like up to date with the times I'll be able to be. But I'll always be a big fan. But what I can say is, from what I understand from the questions that Woodimp asked, and from what I gathered from a few other people, it appears that is their primary thing on when they say they're bringing Konflikt 47 in line with 3rd edition bolt action. I don't think they're changing a lot of the combat stuff because they're adding in a rift die, you know? But I think what they're really changing is, for lack of a better term, we'll call it the Force Organization Chart, or TONE, whatever you want to call it. So they're changing the platoon structure, which I'm really excited about. So yes, I think you will be able to see armored platoons. So what I'm hoping is it's going to be very, very much more like a, you know, much more heavy with walkers and things like that. That's going to be a lot more fun. RK, what do you mean by can you have double squads of a single, like a clown car? I think I may have missed a comment there. Alright, Bad Rabbit, let me... Oh, okay, I think you're talking about Bad Rabbits. I want to run Marines with an LVT, but I just had to make it... Just haven't been able to make it work at 500 points. Yes, that is tough. I do recognize that, and I do appreciate you guys staying at or under the 500. So let's take a... Let me read what Bad Rabbit sent me. Alright, cool. Alright. So the list reviews I'm doing, I'm always happy to review Konflikt 47 list. Any list you send me. There's games I don't know about, so I'll just be like, it sounds cool, you know, like. But they're both sending me their 500 point list for the Clash of the Caribbean, which is going to be a 6-player 500 point event. You know, 3 games on 3 separate boards. So. Alright, so reading off Bad Rabbit's list. It is German. Alright, so Bad Rabbit is taking an inexperienced officer, and he has Waffen SS. Okay. And he has a rifle, fair enough. He's taking 2 Panzer Grenadier squads. 5 men each. they look identical. They're both veterans. So the NCO has an assault rifle, and all 4 guys have. Okay, okay. I see what you're doing here. Okay, so he's running 2 5-man Panzer Grenadier squads with veterans, and they all have assault rifles. So they're mechanized infantry and Waffen SS. All right. So that is your first platoon. For your second platoon, you are taking a German armored car, the 250, the command variant. So it's the 251 3 armored command half track. So it has a front mounted medium machine gun with Hitler's buzzsaw. It's gonna be pretty awesome. For the second vehicle in the armored platoon, he is taking a, what is that, a 251 Stummel. Okay, so a forward-facing light howitzer and a forward-facing pintle-mounted mini machine gun. That thing's going to be an absolute tear. Everybody's going to be gunning for that thing. Just a heads up, your little armored car Stummel thing, everyone's going to be shooting at that thing. That is going to be an anti-tank rifle magnet. Alright, for your third platoon, he's taking 1 officer with a rifle, inexperienced Waffen SS. And he's taking a veteran 20mm Flak 38 Waffen SS. Oh yeah, that's a dangerous list. Ooh man, I wouldn't want to fight that. That is a good. So it's a good list. It's a dangerous list. The only thing I would watch out for, Bad Rabbit, is that list may suffer a little bit on the Bad Habit map. So on the Jungle Ruins, where there's gonna be 3 nuns and one of them's a spy. That's an infantry heavy match. It's good to have a lot of infantry. I mean, you do still have 2 infantry squads plus 2 commanders technically, you know, so you do have like 4 different infantry dice you could be running around with, but just a heads up with that one. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Yeah, it does have the... Yeah, it has the command... Yeah, he did take the command half-track variant. Nice. Again, another very thematic list. So this is really cool. What I like about it is, if I'm reading it correctly, pretty sure I am. Oh, what I like about it is it's a very thematic, like, mechanized list. Like, I can imagine everyone either riding in some of the vehicles or kind of like moving with the vehicles. And yeah, your half track, your command half track can technically tow, so I can actually see it towing your 20mm as well. So that's a really cool. They're very lightning, like I like the imagery of it, like a lightning fast special forces kind of strike team, you know, like operating down in South America. That is a super cool list. But it still brings like that terrifying German might. Like it still has like, you don't need a Tiger to be like terrifying with like German mechanical style engineering and armor. Instead, you have, you know, the command half track and the Stummel. That's really cool. That's a really fun, fluffy, cool list. And I said, you guys know I'm a theme whore. Like I love theming stuff, and that matches too. Just like Arcade's list. Those are 2 really cool lists. Sorry, I'm kind of geeking out a little bit. That's really cool. All right. Yeah, Bad Rabbit got it. Yeah, there's enough capacity for it to carry the whole unit. That's really cool. Okay, yeah, I got that arcade. You're talking about his LVT. Yeah, Matt Larkin, no, you're right. I want to see very like walker or mech heavy games. I think that'd be really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing like armored platoons in the future. I like to see. I want to see the mix of medium walkers, light walkers for like reconnaissance, and you have maybe a couple heavy walkers in the background, like slinging out, doing some serious damage. All right. The rest of the daughter should be ready here momentarily. I'm feeling and hoping. And same thing when it comes time to paint knees. We're gonna try and give them somewhat of a tropical appearance. So let's take a look at them. We'll turn the lights down a little bit. Let's see what we think here. All right. So what are we thinking for? I'm thinking leathery brown coats, tan backpack. I'm thinking black fur hat. Maybe green armor with a red hammered sickle, perhaps. Hey, CB Cooper, what's going on, man? You must have heard me building some Konflikt 47 Soviets. That must have perked your ears. How's your start collecting Soviet box coming? Also, I'll let you know so I am bringing a 500-point list just in case someone gets sick or in case someone, changes their mind at another event. That way I can fill in last minute if I need to, or someone forgets their army, they can use one of mine. I don't expect to be playing, but I'm bringing one just in case. So mine's super easy. 500 points, Imperial Japanese Navy. Should just be one veteran platoon commander with a submachine gun. It's going to be 2 SNILF paratrooper squads. So that's going to be 10 guys, all veterans with 2 submachine guns. NCO, another troop. 1 veteran anti-tank team. And then just 2... I'll double check and make sure they're inexperienced. Ooh, actually, no, I think... Yeah, they're both inexperienced. So 2 inexperienced Kami light tanks. So that's it. 2 infantry squads, a commander, an anti-tank rifle team, and 2 inexperienced Kami tanks. Yeah, that 20mm will light my guys up. Yeah, RK, I learned my lesson for 3rd edition. I learned my lesson from you. You cannot rely on the humble rifle anymore. Because with Fanatics, with a big squad, it's all about winning that melee, right? It doesn't matter by how many you win, it's just about winning. So if I can re-roll my misses, that drastically increases my chance of winning that melee combat. So... So there's one thing I was really excited about. The weird thing is I was gonna say I don't do bolt action videos, but I haven't done a video in a long time, bolt action or otherwise. But something I did want to talk about. Somebody asked me a question in the bolt action channel of Morning Glory's Discord, and I answered the question to the best of my abilities. But it made me really, really excited. I'll tell you why. They asked me. Both their friend and them are starting Imperial Japanese armies for bolt action, and where to go with their armies, like how to spec out or build the list, given the kind of nerfing that the Imperial Japanese had. And all he had, so his friend had some other stuff like some tanks and stuff, but all this one guy had, all Otto had was the Imperial Japanese infantry box, which comes with 30 bodies, right? 30 bodies, I want to say 5 sprue. Yeah, 5 sprue on it, right? You get 5 sprue, 6 bodies of sprue. Which means, and on each sprue you have 2 submachine guns. I want to say 2 light machine guns, 1 flagpole that can be a lunch mine, and 2 katanas, plus, you know, all the rifles you could ever need, right? So, I built it so many times I have like the sprue memorized. So the cool part was, and why I'm kind of like slow rolling this a little bit, so bear with me here, is, and this is something I absolutely fell in love with, and how cool Warlord Games is. I was able to build this guy. I don't know how competitive or how good it would be, mind you, but I was able to build him a 500-point list, a 500-point legal bolt action list, 3rd edition, with just that one 30-man infantry box. So right now, I think they're selling for like 40 to 50 bucks, maybe, for a 30-man box of infantry models. Compare that to, you know, Imperial Guard from Warhammer 40k, it's pretty good value. And with just that one 30-man box, you can actually build a 500-point army. You'll still need dice and things like that, but that is super cool. I was really happy I was able to build him that. If you guys want later on, I'll tell you what that 500-point list is. It's not super competitive. There's some things you can swap around to like change it to your play style, but I think you could play a 500-point game and not do decently well, actually, probably really well. And then, of course, you can go in and add tanks and all sorts of other stuff when you get them. I just thought that was a really cool mark of value, you know, with just, and I know it's not intentional, but with just one 30-man box with what comes in the Imperial Japanese infantry sprue, you can fully build a 500-point army. That is really, really cool. I'm sure you might be able to do that with other armies as well. I'm just not as familiar with them. Alright, let's see what HS has. Alright. Welcome to the list review stream. No, actually, I love it. This is a lot of fun. Alright. So he has a regular Wehrmacht commander, 50 points. Alright, in his first squad, light machine gun, 1 light machine gun, 4 rifles, 1 SMG, and a Panzerfaust. And then 1 assault rifle. The second squad, 4 rifles, 4 ARs, 8 AT grenades. Okay. 1 squad with 4 rifles, 4 assault rifles, and AT grenades. Okay. And 1 Penderstreck team. Nice. That's a good list. A lot of troops. A lot of troops. So what are the is everybody a regular? Is anybody veteran at all or anything like that? Yeah, apparently everyone's like, hey, do you mind let's review German? Do you mind German? Do you mind German? I was like, God, is that all anyone plays? Nah, I totally understand. I get it, Germans are pretty damn cool. Absolutely, Spoon. Send it all in, man. Let's have fun with this stream. I realized that I primed my daughter's 2 separate colors. So hold on, I gotta reprime them real quick. That's hilarious. Yeah, if you have me on Discord, Discord is just Tiki the Hut, super easy to find. Shoot me a direct message on Discord. Or, you know what? Actually, hold on, I got something for this. I'm learning how to be a YouTuber. I'll learn one day, I promise. I'll actually make videos and shit. Hold on, I got something for this. Boom. For those of you who aren't in it, that is the link to the Konflikt 47 Discord. You can jump in there if you want and find me in that Discord and shoot me a message that way. In case you're not able to just find me on Discord, that's Discord that I'm very, very in. Yeah, Tiki's mail time. What's in Tiki's sack? Tiki's mail sack. I like it. Yep, that's what we'll call it. We'll call it Tiki's mail sack time. Alright, let me just get another coat or two on them. Luckily, the weather's not too shabby, so I actually have like a door crack, so I'm actually able to get some spray painting in. It's not as good for me as huffing 3D printer resin like I used to, you know, just drink it. Like my morning Ovaltine, but you know, what can you do? Drink more Ovaltine. Alright, I'm back. Slapped on another coat on the daughters. Huh, I only make elite lists. I'm looking forward to the Great Britain book when it's out. I want to take a crack at a 500-point SAS list. Yeah, the other cool thing about Commandos is you can build them however the hell you want, man. I love units like that. Very irregular. He's like, that's like 2 squads. Yeah. Yeah, remember, platoons were the way to get in tanks before 3rd edition came out. I remember I bought a couple, I think it was like, I bought 2 Chiha platoons when they were pretty reasonably priced, you know, for 3 medium tanks. And I had no idea that 3rd edition was going to bring about armored platoons. So, you know, now I'm sitting on... Yeah, I think I'm sitting on actually a legitimate troop of Imperial Japanese tanks. Alright, so we're just waiting on these daughters to dry, then we'll actually start painting some daughters, so we can still call this a paint and chat stream. We got the painting part down, let's get... Or we got the chatting part down, let's get the painting part down. So yeah, I'm thinking leather brown coats, tan gear, and what do y'all think? Red body armor against green pants? So I'm thinking like maybe green fatigues, kind of like how we have the Ursus. So dark green pants, that lighter green webbing for canvas gear, maybe red body armor. That way they kind of like have that PR effect, you know? Yeah, I think that might work. Oh, thanks, Stevie Cooper. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, look at me. I'm trying to build up some Soviets here. I got some Siberians, some Ursus, and some daughters. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's some type of red for like that, you know, shock troop style mentality. I think I told you guys, like, my whole, like, I guess, like, self-canon lore on how the Soviets are gonna get kind of sneak down into the Caribbean and South America is, the bears are gonna pose as, like, trainable bears in a circus, you know? And, the Siberian Terriers are just gonna be carny folk. And then the daughters are just gonna be, like, actual, like, Russian acrobats and stuff like that, you know? And circus performers. So it just looks like a traveling Russian circus that is actually full of Russian special forces. Or Soviet special forces, as it were. Assuming it's better not to conflate the two. Ooh, bare metals. Stalin steel. I totally looked over that the first time. I read it as stainless steel, which I think was a part of the pun. But Stalin steel, that's really cool. Alright, I think she's going to be our test model. Oh, she's sleeveless too. Look at that. Look at that. She's a sleeveless, big old thick muscle mommy. Look at that. That's some people's type. She looks like she could beat a father figure to death with a golf club in a terribly written video game. Oh shit. Making jokes. Alright. Would you kindly? Yeah, I was thinking that whole NKVD. I may have to design some NKVD models. So I have some people testing out the zombie hula girls that I made on Hero Forge. Apparently the files don't come supported. I don't really know what that means because I don't 3D print. So unfortunately, I think it's a lot more work than we thought it would be. But if they can get it to work, then I'll continue and I'll keep buying more and more STL files of different Konflikt 47 models they make. That'll all have like very Tiki / beach themes to them, you know? I was gonna make a joke. It's not political. So, with the whole, you know, going with the whole Bioshock thing, it's like a Soviet chooses, a capitalist obeys. Jokingly. It's just a spoof off the whole Bioshock thing. Actually, alright, here we go here. Alright, let's start with the easy part. Let's start with the coats. Yes, I'm telling you. So I think Japan needs to go with a lizardman oh, sorry, the camera does that weird thing. There we go. So I think Japan, I think for logical sense, they need to go with some type of like lizard or gator type people, but for like mythical reason, I think a shark would be really cool, you know? But I think a lizard would be the best. Well, Bad Rabbit, it's not that. I like to keep a stream about models, just about models. I mean, I don't mind cracking jokes about, you know, fake stuff. I just don't want people to, I don't want people to conflate it with real life. Yeah, Atomic Heart's like a Soviet Bioshock. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of video games, RK, you're making me think of it. I tried it. It's not very good, but it's not. To be fair, it's not ready yet. It's that Rattenreich game. The only reason why I got it is they put the Imperial Japanese in there, or whatever their flavor of Imperial Japanese is, and they're like Komodo dragons, which I thought was kind of a cool take. I shouldn't say not very good. I mean, I didn't really enjoy it that much. I just had a Bioshock. I feel better now. Love it. Alright, HS sending another list here. Oh, time for the British. Ooh, spicing it up a little bit. Alright. So, an inexperienced commander, 1 squad of inexperienced 8 rifles, 1 light machine gun. Oh, okay. Your automated infantry. What are they? Are they packing mini machine guns or heavy machine guns? I feel like the heavy machine guns makes them better for countering monster units. Versus the mini machine guns better for like hosing down infantry. I think automated comes stock with mini machine. I think the automatons, the Alfreds come stock with mini machine guns, but they can upgrade to heavy machine guns. I know you guys do your own rules, so if you're doing like your own thing, I get that. But I think per the book, they come with mini machine guns. Alright, let me check the poll, by the way. Since we're talking about Konflikt 47 stuff. Do we finally... Oh, whoa! Hey, we do have a majority. Nice! Alright, at 3:30, we will cover the US Firefly jump infantry. We'll give the poll till 3:30. Hey, look at that. We're getting some votes now. Firefly taking the lead. Absolutely. So I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Firefly jump infantry are... It's one of those models that's going to be a forefront selling model for Konflikt 47. I think it's something that Konflikt 47 really likes. They really enjoy. I think it's like one of their, what do you call it? Like, think of like Madden game cover style units, right? It's going to be one of their big selling pieces. Expect them to get a lot of love. Kind of like how the Deathcore Krieg are for the Imperial Guard for Warhammer 40k. You know, I think the Firefly jump infantry are going to be a very ubiquitous unit to Konflikt. There you go. That's the term I'm looking for. Very ubiquitous unit to Konflikt 47. He's like, they're on the damn rulebook. Poster Child also worked. Yeah, Poster Child's another good one. Yes, I'm about to put in my order. I'm so excited. I don't know why I keep delaying my order, but I'm about to put in my order to, I think it's North Star Minis for my, I'm using the Pulp miniatures. I'm going to get my Rocketeer, Firefly infantry, so I'm pretty excited about that. Try to be somewhat responsible and finish some of the models I have before I order more. But that being said, Mrs. Tiki and I, when we went to go visit Warfire Games, which, if you're ever in the state of Florida, I highly recommend Warfire Games. Go check them out. They're awesome. Not affiliated, of course, but they're super awesome. They put the time into their tables, and I can tell you it makes a difference when I took Mrs. Tiki in and she saw the Blood and Plunder and Port Royal table. She's like, well, I guess this is what we're playing now. And so she's actually going to get into Port Royal and Blood and Plunder with me. They're just super exciting. It's like, it's impossible to learn this power. Finish the models you have before getting awards. Is it possible to learn this power? This power level's over 9,000 now. It's just won't power, and sometimes I don't have the won't power. Sometimes I'll see something, especially I'm a sucker for anything that appears to be a good deal. And again, the Warp Fire games, the reason why, one of the things I like about them, I like that they have a used section, and you can find some really good deals in there. I want to say one time, me, RK, and a few other guys went there, and they're selling a whole bunch of Konflikt 47 used stuff. I picked up a fully painted King Tiger X, fully painted, for like 20 bucks. I was like, yeah, take my bottle caps, right? Nice, Bad Rabbit. I'm glad that worked out for you, man. Yeah, it's exactly what it was, Spoon. Where you're like, yeah, that's my problem. Holy crap, that deal's too good not to buy. Yeah. It's one of those things where like, yeah, that's too good to pass up. Like, that's why I got the box of Orc Mob Boys for Old World for my 40k orcs, just because it's like 70 bucks for 30 something orcs. I was like, yeah, I'm not passing that up. Oh. Yeah, you know what? Nerd reference, I think I'm going to call my daughters my brown coats. It's kind of cool. Uh-oh. It says, do you want this? I found it in a closet. Hopefully it's not a picture of me in a dress. Let's see what he's got here. Oh, God. Oh. Yes. Yes, I do, Squig Hunter Sean, but please let me pay you for it or send you something in trade. Yes, I desperately want that. Absolutely. But let me pay for it, please. Or send you some kind of models in trade or something. Yeah, Bad Rabbit, that's awesome. It's a good story about how awesome Warlord Games is. Bad Rabbit's like, what is it? He showed me a bunch of Blood and Plunder stuff, particularly Spanish, which is the faction that I want to play. So, it's very similar. I don't want to have the connotation like I'm attracted to the quote-unquote bad guys of history. It's not that at all. But just like the Imperial Japanese in World War II, and obviously before World War II, just like the Spanish in the, you know, we'll say from 1500 to 1800s, there's not a lot of information on them, which sounds dumb. There's a lot, you know, but it's mostly in Spanish, which takes a little while to read. But there's a lot of misreporting and a lot of like hearsay told from one-sided stories, you know, so it's the same thing. The more I research into the Spanish Empire, the more I'm absolutely fascinated. It's super interesting. Thanks, Mad Larkin. I'm excited, buddy. Thanks for getting those printed and everything. I'm excited. Also, Mad Larkin, when you get a chance, no rush, but I love to see when you end up doing stuff with. I'd love to see what you end up doing with those sailors and the conquistadors and stuff. I will absolutely look that up. I think you were telling me about that last time, Squig and Sean, on my list of things to watch and read. Like, so one of my favorite things that I think people often get kind of, I don't say wrong with history, but everyone thinks, I guess, like from storytellings that, you know, Cortez showed up. And it's actually one of my favorite histories. I used to have a quote of Cortez. It was on the back of one of my in the military. We could wear like soft caps. At least my unit could. So for like PT on the back, I used to have the quote like burn the ships or burn the boats. It goes back to a quote what Cortez did, where once his guys landed, you know, he gave the order to burn the landing boats, which means there's no turning back, which means basically give it all, you know, leave everything on the field. Anyways, so everyone thinks Cortez just took on the entire Aztec like empire and like sacked the whole city. But what a lot of people fail to like put in there, because they're like, you know, oh yeah, these guys showed up with guns and metal armor, you know. That's not entirely what happened. They got there with like a handful of guys. And Cortez figured out real quick the Aztecs were absolutely beating the shit out of a local tribe and using them as cannon fodder, slaves, human sacrifice, a bunch of other shit. So he's like, oh, I'm just gonna use this tribe to beat the shit out of that tribe and take their shit. Not saying it's right or wrong, I'm saying it's not like they single-handedly took out an entire Aztec empire. I mean, obviously, you know, smallpox helped a lot, but so did the tribe that the Aztecs have been using as cannon fodder and human sacrifice for generations. CB Cooper, I'll have to look that up. Yeah, thanks, helps a lot, yeah. Like I was always been interested in Age of Sail history. So obviously you learn a lot about the Royal Navy. I learned a lot about the Dutch East India trading company, which was kind of interesting. Obviously the American Navy, I was kind of biased there. Particularly if you ever want to study the American Civil War, take a look at the naval campaigns of the American Civil War. That's super interesting. But something I've learned recently more and more is I didn't know how often the Spanish used privateers. I know the British used privateers a lot, a couple other countries did, but I didn't know the Spanish used them a good amount. And that's what a lot of the Guardacosta were privateers, actually. I thought they were more like regulated, but no, apparently a lot of them were just actual Spanish privateers. But instead of a letter of marque, what they had was they basically had kind of like what our modern day Coast Guard, where the term comes from, has now, where it's like, yeah, you can board any ship if you have reason to believe they have Spanish goods on board. And so of course that got absolutely fucking abused to all hell. And they just start jacking shit left and right. Super interesting. Seriously, Squigger Sean, let me either pay you back or send you a whole bunch of models and trade. Let me know what you're interested in, man. I appreciate it greatly. Because of the generosity of y'all, I never have any excuse to never stream because I always have models I need to paint. You guys keep me flush with models. All right, I see your list, HS. Let me finish. Let me finish working on this bottom part of the trench coat. I'll take a look. Yeah, so not to, again, please don't take this wrong way, not to hawk a whole nother tabletop game for you guys. I know I'm a Konflikt 47 guy, I'll stay that way, that's what this channel will always be about, you know? But something I could play with my spouse and my local people, and because Firelock Games is in Miami, you know, I like supporting local stuff. When I walked into Warpfire Games, they had two, because I saw one table they had set up. Jay Medic showed it to me, and I thought it was cool, so I went there to go look itself. They had two tables set up for Blood Plunder and Port Royal. One of them, I swear, was almost a one-to-one creation. I had a picture of it too, of the castle at St. Augustine, and I lost it. I was like, this is the coolest thing in the world. My wife's like, we're getting both boxes now, apparently. So, talk to those guys. I plan on talking to Firelock Games and talking to them a lot, hopefully visiting their area down in Miami. But building my Port Royal list, because Port Royal is played kind of like, from what I can tell so far, it's kind of like a Caribbean Mordheim, but it plays like bolt action / infinity, like lots of reactions. It looks very fun. Yes, Batterow, but don't let me get you to another thing. Yeah, check Firelock Games. They do have an online store. But I'd also look at Warpfire. They're a huge distributor of Blood and Plunder. They have a very large stock. But don't let me get you to another game. Just kind of chat with you guys what I'm working on. Only because excited to have the wife. Because usually the only thing she's ever played is Gaslands. So I just want to talk about my little Carta Costa list real quick before I covered HS's list. So for my you get 30 fortune, or like 30 coins, to build your little war band or company for Port Royal. Port Royal's played, you know, like individual characters, very much like Mordheim or Infinity kind of. So for mine, I have a Spanish officer who has a pistol and a rapier, and you have to pay for each like individual weapon and stuff. I think it's like 3 soldiers. I think it's like 3 or 4 soldiers who have rapiers and pistols. I have one militiaman. He's a little bit different. He has a better shooting skill, so he has a musket and he has a plug bayonet and some climbing gear. And then I have one sailor who has a blunderbuss and a dagger. So it's an absolutely thematic as hell list. You know, a bunch of Spaniards running around with rapiers and pistols. One that has climbing gear and a musket so he can get up high and just start putting accurate shots down. And then one sailor who can stay there and watch the boat or what have you with the blunderbuss. I love it. Man, this CB Cooper, this is why I need my own. I probably should have a Discord for this. Actually, CB Cooper, I'll send you the picture. I think we're friends. Are we friends? I think we're friends. Yeah, we are friends. When I get a chance, I'll send you a picture of what the tables look like. So one table was like was a standard Caribbean town with a docked ship. It looked really good. But what the other table was actually the I can't think of the name of it. I had the Castillo de San. Is it San Martin? I think it is the Castillo de San Martin, the castle, the Star Fort, and St. Augustine. building. So yeah, now you sound like Mrs. Tiki. She's like, well, she's like, I hope you're happy. She's like, we are now going to build a table of this. It's like, absolutely. And so here's the other thing too is, I think it's gonna those style of tables. What I love is the terrain that I can use for a lot of our Caribbean games plus Blood and Plunder. Because here's my thing: I like having different games to kind of help cover, you know, like getting a palette cleanse. But more importantly, I haven't forgot HS. I promise I'm gonna get back to your list, buddy. What I love is I love having terrain that can work for multiple stuff. Like I said, that's why a lot of my terrain is very Pacific or Caribbean themed, because I can now use it for my Blood and Plunder, my Port Royal, and my Konflikt 47 and bolt action. So I like terrain that kind of works for a lot of different stuff. I feel like I'm getting the most out of my expenditures, not just of money, but also time and effort of painting. Say effort, not that I'm a very good painter, but you know, the time. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, CB Cooper. Yeah, that's where I put it. I'll DM you another picture of it. But yeah, that when me and Mrs. Tiki saw that, we're like, yeah, let's go ahead and get the boxes. So we got the starter box for Blood and Plunder, which comes with 2 plastic sloops. I think it's like 24 guys plus both Blackbeard and Maynard, and a whole bunch of all the stuff you need for that. Then we also got the Port Royal starter box, which comes with a whole bunch of terrain, maps, everything you need. So. And absolutely, you're going to see that terrain being used for Clash of the Caribbean too, so I'm pretty excited about that. Like I said, I was excited because a lot of the stuff is usable in multiple things. It makes me really happy. Alright, let's get to HS's list. Alright, HS's Soviet list. Alright, we've had lots of Germans, 1 British, and now some Soviets. I know CB Cooper's probably interested about hearing this. So, Konflikt 47 Soviet list. About 500 points, 6 dice. Okay. 1 Lieutenant JG, or 1 Junior Lieutenant Commander, 35 points. 1 regular squad with rifles, and 1 SMG, 53 points. Okay. 2 squads of 5 daughters with the body armor and assault rifles, plus 1 Panzerfaust, 105 points each. 2 Cossacks light, or 2 regular Cossack light walkers. Jesus, yeah, that's a vicious list. That is a, yeah, that's a list I wouldn't want to fight. I mean, you do have the Panzerfaust in case you come across armor, and I'm pretty sure the well, how are you taking your Cossacks? Are you taking them with the light AT guns or the autocannons? Like, are you taking your Cossack walker stock, or are you adding the AT guns to them? Basic walkers. Okay, yeah. No, you're good. And I don't think you're going to run into heavy enough armor to really worry about it, you know? But at 500 points, yeah, that's an absolutely lethal list. 2 Cossack light walkers, 2 things of daughters, and 1 squad and a... Oh, oof, that is a rough and fast list. Like that, I can see that list just constantly moving. Ooh, that's a dangerous list. Yeah, Square Sean, that fort is actually absolutely beautiful. And that town is haunted as fuck. If you've never been to St. Augustine, it is the oldest city in the continental US that I'm aware of. And that city is haunted as shit. Last time I was there was for a hurricane duty when everyone abandoned. And everyone like fled the town, so it was absolutely haunted. So we're working on our coat first. I think we're going to give her green fatigues. I think we're going to give her red body armor. And we'll do the hammer and sickle like yellow. I think this little like poncho like wrap up in the back will probably do that like a dark green. Excuse me, miss, you're dressed like a flag. Honestly, as I say it out loud, I don't really want to paint a hammer and sickle. I'll probably just paint it all red, though it's at least subdued, and it makes my life easier. Alright, Bad Rabbit, take it easy, buddy. Good chatting with you. Glad we got to talk about some of the lists. I'm all about lazy painting. If you guys haven't seen it yet, if you're not in the Discord that I dropped a link to, go to that Discord and go check out RK's his finish Shrekwolfen. Not gonna lie, nothing against Matthew's in this a lot of times. Matthew paints some really cool models as well. I really like Matthew's models, but so far I think RK's finish Shrekwolfen are probably my favorite painted Konflikt 47 model I've seen. Sounds like high praise. I mean, I don't know. I think they look really awesome. You should see them yourself. It's a really cool idea the way he did them, and they came out really, really well. And by painted, I mean like people doing something different than what appears in the books, you know? Anytime, Bad Rabbit. You have a great night. The forbidden marshmallow cream. I mean, Vallejo snow. I'm excited. I ordered some AK interactive diorama terrain stuff. My beachy sand should be here soon. I'm pretty stoked about that. Once I have the beachy sand, I can finish up these guys. There absolutely will be Tiki versus Conflict 47 games. Yeah. So I looked into renting the space on the SS American Victory, and it is. I'll have to contact them for like running it during the day, because to rent it at night is very expensive, because I think it's outside their operating hours. But I think if I call them and explain to them what it is, maybe the prices will be better during the day. If not, then what I'm thinking is I'm thinking I'll run 2 events a year. I'll run they'll always run the Clash of the Caribbean, probably on a Margaritaville at Sea cruise ship. You know, they're entry level cost and very laid back. But I think I'll also do a smaller event probably in April, and I'll do a Conflict 47 style event. I'll probably end up doing it at Warp Fire, maybe, just because it's big enough to kind of host it and they have the tables for it, you know. So, and because it's centrally located. That makes sense, HS. Yeah, I think I saw Morning Glory use AK Snow, and I really liked the way it looked, and so that kind of gave me like a good trust in the brand. So when it came time for my beach stuff, I guess what I ended up going with. I could have just used sand and things like that, but I wanted to keep it easy and simple. The only thing with snakebite is you got to make sure you do the same amount of coats everywhere, unless you're trying to get like a worn look. Like I went a little bit darker on the sides to show like that's kind of like creased from where, you know, they're kind of reaching around their belt and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, and April's on the opposite side of October, so it kind of works. So what I'm thinking about for the April event, the way I'm thinking about doing it is it'll probably be like a, I don't know if 2-day might be a little too intensive. It's probably going to be like maybe a 1-day, maybe 2-day, I'm not sure yet, event. Worry about 2 days because you got hotels, but then again, Ocala is not a very expensive town. Hotels should be decently priced. But it'll be like it'll be a Conflict 47 escalation event. So your first game will probably be like 500 points, and then I think your second game will probably be like 1,000 points, and your third game will probably be like 1,250. You know, and again, it's just gonna be a casual event. It's not competitive, but you're gonna be representing your faction, so that'll be Allies, Axis, and Soviets. I think like each battle will have like a small boon to it, you know, if that makes sense. So it kind of it's not competitive, but it'd behoove of you to you know, win your games, because you'll get like small little advantages, like maybe an extra airstrike or, you know, something else like that. I don't know, it's all up in the air, just me kind of spitballing online, see what you guys think. Yeah, no, yeah. So we talked about the de-escalation thing, but it's not a bad idea. But for this, I'd want it to be more of an escalation to kind of like get people excited and hyped into the last part. The de-escalation, that's a cool idea, and that I think that works when you have a close group, you know, and you know your people. And I think that's really cool. But for like a 2-day event, I'd hate for someone to like really kind of get hosed over on their first game, and that just makes their second and third game worse and worse. You know what I mean? The de-escalation, it sounds fun, but it sounds like something you do as like an ongoing event with like your local club, if that makes sense. It makes sense why it makes sense why you came up with it. I know it's kind of like your style over there. It sounds super cool. Something I definitely want to replicate down here with my local guys. But for an event, I'd probably do an actual escalation. Ooh, I saw you send me something. Let me take a look here. All right, another list review. Coming in hot. All right. Here is a Konflikt 47 American list from the Mad Larkin. Ooh, I'm so excited. Make sure. Yeah, am I saying? Yeah, absolutely, from Mad Larkin. All right. So he is taking. So this is the Konflikt 47 American platoon. Okay, cool. So in the first platoon, you have a second lieutenant, as inexperienced. Okay. First infantry squad is going to be veterans. It's going to be 5 personnel, an NCO and an assault rifle. And, they're heavy infantry. Okay, so it's a heavy infantry squad taken as veterans, NCO with an assault rifle, and 4 infantry with assault rifles. Absolutely lovely. Second squad is going to be regular infantry, and they're as regular veterancy. It's going to be 5 personnel, all with rifles. Armored car is the Pond Skater. Nice. Very nice. Taken as a regular. So that means it has its 2 pintle-mounted mini machine guns and a forward-facing hull-mounted mini machine gun. Absolutely awesome. Additionally, he's also taken a... Ooh, he went with the Bruin. The Bruin medium support walker. Taken as a regular. So it has a gyro-stabilized casement-mounted medium AT gun, the arm-mounted heavy howitzer, and the pintle-mounted heavy machine gun. Oh, those things are absolutely gnarly. And all that for 500 points on the dot. Sweet Jesus. Oh my god, that is a dangerous list. I don't even know how. I don't even think I'd be able to defeat that list. No. I'd have to really think about how to beat that list. That is a damn good list. So to recap, he has an inexperienced second lieutenant. He has 1 5-man heavy infantry squad as veterans. He has 1 regular infantry squad with just 5 people. Then he has a Pond Skater, light walker, and a Bruin medium walker. Oof. Yeah, the only thing is a little light on the infantry, but those heavy infantry can take a lot of hits, but they're not invulnerable. With concentrated fire, heavy infantry do go down. Me and Sam figured that out. I put a lot of rounds into Sam's heavy infantry and actually took him down. Great list, Mad Larkin. I really like it. That is a brutal list. So the other cool thing, you might be interested in this, Mad Larkin. If you read the books, if you read Seaforth Ladies and Going Dutch, your list is actually like lore accurate on what their walker units kind of look like. A lot of times they paired their medium walkers with light walkers, like they paired coyotes to protect the grizzlies, like when they're engaged in like long range stuff. The coyotes were supposed to keep like the Shrek Wolf and stuff like that off them. So pairing a medium walker with a light walker, and then also using heavy infantry is exactly how they do it in the book. So that's super cool to see, actually. Yeah, if you ever read those 2 books, you're gonna see this exact style of platoon in the book. Well done, man. That's really cool. Yeah, RK, you're not wrong. You do have to play the objectives. From the recap, I'm still working on the battle report from the TJ game. is a medium walker can really hold down a quadrant on a tabletop. If they have good fields of fire, and they can hold down a whole sector because of the way they have the different angles of fire, and they can kind of split that up. They're dangerous. Like I said, my medium walker, the Goo Goo Muck with its medium AT gun and its 2 light autocannons, was absolutely lethal. It killed a lot of units. My Scorpion did pretty well, but the only thing is, Mad Larkin, the only thing I'd recommend, because you're taking regular walkers, something we found out the right way, something we found out a good way. So in Konflikt 47, unlike bolt action, pins do affect your accuracy. So it is absolutely worth it to pour it on to big, heavy, expensive units. So a good example, my Scorpion Lightwalker on the left side of Tijuana was absolutely causing damage to his models. Like they put the light compression cannon put a serious hurt on his heavy infantry, right? So his new thing was like, I'm gonna pin the living shit out of that thing. And this is my fault. I took the bait. I moved my Scorpion up to where he had line of sight, through an alley past a bordello or whorehouse and bar, yeah, in a saloon, in the perfect line of sight onto my Scorpion Light Walker with his what was he using? He was using a mud jumper, whatever it is. He was using the airborne thing, so he hit me with his light autocannons. He couldn't destroy my Scorpion, but he pinned it to all hell. So because my Scorpion was a regular and it didn't have Fanatic, it did not do very well trying to pass its pin test. And so he ended up basically taking my Scorpion, not out of the game, but it was no longer as accurate as it could be because those pins really started affecting your accuracy. So that would be the only thing I would say, is you need to be real careful about being static with your heavy model, with like your heavier, more valuable models, and just laying down hate. It does work, but the more pins they take, it may be worth it to put an officer by him and issue that rally. So with your list, what I would recommend is keep that inexperienced officer right next to your Bruin, in case he starts taking pins. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was so far that was the most fun Konflikt 47 game I played, because we worked really hard to get that table like somewhat accurate to like a GPS image of what the city would look like in the 40s. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's very dense." So I was like, yes, like it was actually like back alley fighting. Just it was Mount and all its diesel punk alternate history goodness. He had like bazooka teams running by the flanks, jumping in and out of buildings, climbing up to the second story to put hate, to launch some stuff down on me. I filled those buildings with light autocannon rounds. I put officers on the roof of a destroyed library to put some rounds into his guys. It was beautiful. I had zombies chasing his infantry, but he kept like running down alleys where I'd have to like turn down these alleys, and he just kept hitting me with like, BARs and flamethrowers, just whittling down my zombies repeatedly. Hey, nice. Squig Hunter Sean just sent me a picture of his hobby room closet progress, and he's got the Tiki mug. I love it. That is awesome, man. That is super cool. I'm gonna have to put mine up like on the camera view. That's really cool. That's cool to see. Oh man, that's really awesome. I love it. Thanks, Squig Hunter Sean. That means a lot, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I think it's not just dense boards. RK, I think you got a point there. I know it sounds so nerdy. We probably talk about it every stream, but I think a good realistic map. You know what I mean? Like we've all seen. A good example is look at when I say old, look at like COD Modern Warfare 2 or even Modern Warfare, like the original one, way back in like, what was that, 07, 08? Think about those map designs, right? Like, they still had 3 lanes and all that kind of stuff, but they were more realistic. Versus you look at a map now, you can clearly see the 3-lane method, you know? It doesn't have to be dense or symmetrical or anything like that. I think it just has to look realistic. As I say, Konflikt 47 with zombies and jetpack infantry, but you know what I mean. But with that, you have to be clear. Now I'm learning this. You have to be clear about your terrain rules. You know, are you playing? Don't worry, I'm not going to spin into a whole thing. You know, but you need to understand, are you doing true line of sight? What counts as heavy cover? What counts as light cover? You know, what's this? What's that? But I think having clear rules and not too complicated rules and actually using your terrain, I think makes it fun. Alright, I think I said at 3:30 we'll kill the poll and see what we got, and we'll cover it at 4 o'clock. Yes, they can. Yes, they absolutely can. Oh, I am familiar. I just try not to abuse it. Oh, God. Yes, they can. So my other go-to 500 point... So my 500 point list that I usually take... Here, let me take a look at it real quick. So I built a lot of 500 point lists with Imperial Japanese. What's we have here? Okay. Okay, so that one's kind of small and lame. So one of my 500 point lists is a very vanilla. It's not very exciting, I'm going to be honest with you. So it's a veteran second lieutenant with a adjutant, and they both have assault rifles. They're veterans. It's 2 veteran squads with 8 troops. The NCO has a submachine gun, and everybody has anti-tank grenades. And I have a regular light walker with a light compression cannon, and then I have a light truck with a medium machine gun as a regular. A very lame vanilla style squad, but it's effective. Sadly, my float tanks, my Imperial Japanese, my Kamis, they're not in Konflikt 47, just like the lunge mines aren't. So one of the other 500 point lists that I'm working on for Konflikt 47 is it's a second lieutenant taken as a veteran with 1 adjutant, 2 adjutants, and all 3 have assault rifles. So it's 3 assault rifle veterans, and it's 1 7-man ghost attack squad with compression rifles, just like they have here. 1 SNILF squad with 10 guys. 2 of them have submachine guns, and they have anti-tank grenades. And it has 1 veteran light mortar team and 1 veteran anti-tank rifle team. So no walkers, but it does have a ghost attack squad. So, oh, and it has a medic as well. One thing I will tell you is the Scorpion. Nice HS on the list. I'll get to it here in a second. Let me put some more paint on her. The Scorpion Lightwalker, obviously I'm biased and partial, but it is highly dangerous. If you see him, pin him. That light compression cannon is more dangerous than you realize. Definitely pin those guys. I'm a huge fan of it, so I'm trying to incorporate it in more lists. The other thing the Imperial Japanese have that is highly effective. I tried them, and they're good. And technically, they come in the starter box if you kit them out that way. So the Imperial Japanese have battle frame armor. Exos. They're not heavy infantry; they're more exosuits. And the reason why I make the difference is, unlike all the other nations, they don't count as large infantry, like a large unit for transports, and they're not slow. They're actually fast. It sounds like that means nothing, but the Imperial Japanese can take battle frame anti-tank teams. So it's 2 veterans with a Panzerschreck, not Panzerfaust, Panzerschreck. And they're still tough infantry and fast, so they can still get in and melee with 2 people and fuck some shit up. But they're also fast. They can move on the board very quickly. You know, they're veterans, so they have good leadership. They're hard to kill. And with that Panzerschreck, they can, like, one of them absolutely took out a coyote. They hit a coyote and knocked it the fuck out of the battle in like turn 3, I want to say. So I took two battle frame anti-tank teams, and they were just running all over the board, like they're like rabbits with an RPG, man. They were highly dangerous. So the reason why I say you can actually build that with the Start Collecting box from the Imperial Japanese. For the Imperial Japanese, you get 5 battle framed infantry, and what you can do with that is you can save 1 as a, you know, battle framed officer if you so choose, and the other 4 you could break into 2-man battle frame anti-tank teams. Because the Imperial Japanese don't get lunge mines anymore in Konflikt 47, so you need a more reliable anti-tank team. And that's what they are. Alright, let's take a look at HS's list here. Ooh, we'll take a look at HS's list, we'll take a look at Mad Larkin's IJA mecha list. I may just have converted the poor guy into the glorious ways of the Rising Sun Empire. Alright, HS is American. Under 500 points, perfect. Inexperienced commander, 1 ranger squad, with 5 minutes veterans, with 1 BAR, 1 inexperienced 50 cal team, nice. 1 inexperienced bazooka team. Okay. I've never ran an inexperienced bazooka team. You'll have to let me know how well that works. 2 squads of Fireflies, 6 mans, with the flamethrowers and BARs, nice. Do you have AT grenades on the Fireflies? I don't think so. Not with those points. Not with that point cost. That sounds like a fun, fast infantry list, HS. The only thing I worry about, the inexperienced 50 cal team will be fine, especially with the commander nearby. But I worry about the inexperienced bazooka team, especially if they don't have a car or any way to get up the board. I feel like they're going to get picked off quick, and you're going to lose a good chunk of your AT ability. The only critique I have, otherwise it's a cool list. Alright, let's take a look at Mad Larkin's Imperial Japanese list. Alright. Apparently he feels a certain way about the glorious empire getting multiple walkers. Okay, so... Okay, so... You're taking a Japanese tank platoon. So yeah, usually most conflict games you have to take like a reinforced platoon, you know? But yeah, he's right. So for 500 points, I mean, you have no infantry, so... But for 500 points, you can take two Scorpions. One Scorpion's a regular with the light compression cannon. The second Scorpion's a veteran with a light compression cannon. And the other one is a Locust medium battle walker. Let's see what you went with. Did you go... Oh, you kept the... Okay, no, you swapped it out. You swapped out the rockets for the medium AT gun. Yep. Yeah, definitely do it. Yeah, I'd love to see it, Francis. Yeah. So yeah, that's the only thing is it's a Japanese tank platoon. So like most events won't let you just run an actual tank platoon because you don't have any infantry. It's got to be like the reinforced infantry squad, just like the old days. But some nations reinforced infantry squads let them take multiple light walkers. So, but for 500 points, I'm about to say, ooh, that's got to be close. It's like, yeah, I'm just looking for 500 points. No, yeah, you're good. Well, like I said, well, that's something when you play a 1,000-point game for Konflikt 47, you can take that as your other platoon. You know, as long as you have that one, you know, as you have that, especially with the rules coming out. That's kind of, the points cost will change, of course, coming down the line, but you can already kind of look at that. Yeah, so for armored support, you can have a regular and veteran light walker there, and then one veteran medium walker. Yeah, Squig Sean's that's what I'm hoping for. Is I like that where, you know, you play with multiple people and each one kind of specializes. So one guy could specialize in, you know, elite shock troops, or one guy could specialize in troops and support weapons, and one person can specialize in walkers or heavy infantry or something else like that. Yeah, that's exactly how I'd want to run something. That'd be really cool. All right. Here at 4 o'clock, we'll close the poll and we'll talk a little bit about whichever. We'll talk about some of the lore and some of the backgrounds on the unit that you guys picked. This has been a fun. It's been a fun stream. I like covering lists. It's actually a lot of fun. It's funny, painting her armor red reminds me of a Red Man suit. Is anyone in the chat ever know what a Red Man suit is, or ever to fight a Red Man suit? I see big red pads, that's what it makes me think of. I was like, hell yeah, I know what that is. Oh yeah. Yep. Not exactly the 5 minutes in heaven you're looking for. So what the Red Man suit is usually when you're doing some type of combatives or less than lethal training, like with batons or rifle fighting techniques, something like that. Usually you have to fight 1, 2, or possibly 3 personnel wearing full, padded suits. So it's a helmet, it's a chest piece, arms, legs, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's a one-on-one, for some types of training, but sometimes for other kind of training, you have to like stay on your feet or maintain your weapon. You have to fight like 2 or 3 of them at a time. We use them a lot for combative training, civil disturbance training, less than lethal training. So basically you're wailing on this thing with like a little foam baton while they're like in a Hulkbuster suit and just can suplex and beat the shit out of you. All right, man. Hey, have a great night. Thanks for dropping in the stream. Yeah, definitely bring your pictures next time and send them to me. I appreciate it. We'll take a look at them. Take care, brother. Have a good night. Yep, slowly but surely. I'm painting more and more. Working on the Soviets right now. But have a good night, brother. All right, and that's the end of the poll. We still have another hour to go, some more painting and chatting, as the name implies. But looks like the U.S. Firefly Jump Infantry actually won that, which is pretty exciting. I will hop up and refill my cup of coffee, and we will start chatting about the Firefly Jump Infantry while I work on this test model for my daughters. While I'm grabbing my cup of coffee, there's the short for the Firefly Jump Infantry. If you're ever not sure what they are, I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back and well armed with a cup of coffee. Hey, Nathan, what's going on, buddy? Sorry, I guess you popped in right as I popped out. I'm so sorry, buddy. I don't want you to think I was ignoring you or anything. Super glad to see you. Speaking of which, hey, have you ever heard of, I'm not even going to say it. Tempting, but I won't even mention that game's name. We are actually working, Nathan, on a tropical muscle mommy. This is a Soviet daughter of the motherland. Partially painted so far. Hopefully it'll look better once I kind of finish it. We're trying to go for more of a tropical look. Not bad, we've had a good time. We've been doing a lot of list covering, which is actually kind of nice. Alright, so the Firefly jump infantry are actually super cool. Instead of just using like traditional airborne where they'd like jump out of gliders which are really easy to shoot down, now they basically have jump packs. So not only can they kind of jump out of a plane and literally use their jet packs to kind of like slow their descent onto the ground, but even more importantly, once they're on the ground, the jet packs are meant to simulate them being able to hop around the battlefield. Think almost more like kind of like grasshopper style. From what I understand, only because it's one of the units that's been demoed pretty heavily, is they're going to be extremely mobile, and the second edition of Konflikt 47 coming out. Utilizing their Rift die, they should be able to literally be almost to like move, shoot, and possibly even move again. They're going to be jumping all over the place. So they can only be taken as veterans, and they generally come in like small squads, like about 5 guys. You can add up to 5 more, so you get a full squad is like 10. So that's actually pretty huge. They can take BARs, up to 2 of them. They can be given anti-tank grenades, which could be good, only because if you give them a lot of SMGs, and if they're able to jump around, they can really close distance and utilize these AT grenades. Also, one guy can take a flamethrower. Pretty cool. I sent my zombie hooligan. I sent my zombies, my Japanese zombies, into a squad of Firefly. He probably should have jumped away, but instead he stood and with a flamethrower. He took out a lot of zombies with a flamethrower. Flamethrowers work well on zombies, but I'll still be able to crunch them and eat them. The flamethrower is pretty expensive though, so your mileage may vary there. But I think I wouldn't say auto include, because it's all about your style, but I want to say if you want to jump around, take objectives, or especially, you don't see too many people taking static artillery, but if someone is taking static artillery, I think that's where your Firefly are going to shine. Jumping in the back line and absolutely wrecking hell, you know, with flamethrowers and BARs and some machine guns. I think you're going to see that a lot. Yeah, it's, I don't know. They're good at jumping and taking an objective, but, and they're veterans and they have SMGs and possibly a flamethrower, so they can stay and fight. But up against models with tooth and claw, I think you're gonna have a hard time fighting. And they're not heavy either, so you know you start getting up there with other heavy infantry that have light machine guns or medium machine guns. I think they're gonna cut your guys apart. I think it's more of the smart play instead of the heavy play. You know, as long as you play them smart, they'll be pretty good. First off, they're fucking lying, Sean. They're lying, Nathan. Don't believe them. But, Yeah, with the AT grenades, I think you can really probably wreck some definitely wreck some like light walkers maybe. Did no such thing. Chat has turned on me. I've been betrayed. Betrayed. So that being said, one rumor that has been somewhat confirmed is there's going to be more Rift Tech small arms. So it looks like the Firefly Jump Infantry and the new edition of Konflikt 47 coming out are getting something they desperately need. It looks like they're getting what I dubbed the Tesla Thompsons. They look like Thompson Fs and Gs, but it looks like they're, you know, a little weird ward powered. So it looks like it's going to give those Thompsons possibly +1 pin. So that makes those things super good against fight and other stuff. If these guys get +1 pin Thompsons as like their stock gun, that's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I do like how I'm painting a brown coat and you referenced Firefly. Well done. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of too. I thought of like Call of Duty style upgraded guns, or I thought of the shake ray gun from Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. Yeah, one guy has a little ray gun that he keeps using on the robots. How dare you? Season 2. Too soon, RK. Too soon. Yeah, Sky Captain's a damn good movie. That movie crawled so, you know, movies like 300 and Sin City could run. Damn. Yeah, that's another one of the many lists of videos I need to make that I sit here and I think of ideas. I need to sit down and make them. Is I want to do like a top 10 like movies and shows to put you in the Konflikt 47 mood, and Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow is definitely on there. Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow, Rocketeer, Captain America: First Avenger, Overlord. Yeah, so Zone Troopers, yeah, it's a cult classic. It can be hard for some people to sit down and watch the whole thing. I enjoy it, but it's definitely one of those like guilty pleasures, you know. No, it's a good movie. It's just it's a good movie. That's what I call like a drive-in theater movie. It's very, very good, but it's also like it is what it is. Kind of like what is that? Iron Sky. You know, it's not a bad movie, but kind of schlocky. Is schlocky a term? Yeah, schlocky, like in a good way. I'm hoping for some Konflikt 47 units that are cavalry, because I want to see people bring in like some raptors and stuff. Yeah, so the Mummy's a good one. You know, some of the Indiana Jones movies. Oh yeah, those are good ones. Yes, all right. Yeah, so ironically, I think it's the weakest Mummy movie, but it's actually the best Mummy movie for Konflikt 47 is the third one, The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, because it has like the Yetis and stuff. Oh yeah, it's actually perfect. All right, Mad Larkin, I will take a look. She looks rough, but we're getting there. I need to watch Sisu again. I may add Sisu to the list. All right. All right. Probably our last list review for tonight. I'll definitely be excited to take some more tomorrow. All right, so this is gonna be a Konflikt 47 American list called Mass Light Walkers. All right, so he's taking an inexperienced second lieutenant, as they generally always are. Don't give him the map. All right, next up we have an inexperienced infantry squad. One NCO with 4 rifles. Another inexperienced infantry squad. One NCO. 4 guys with rifles. Okay, so it's basically just infantry tax. Alright. For the armored car, you're taking the Pond Skaters regular. Alright. And then his second platoon, he's taking a tank platoon. For the command vehicle, he has a Jackal. Interesting. I like Jackals. The flamethrower is going to be nice. A Coyote. Okay, cool. So his second list is a tank platoon. The command vehicle is a Jackal, so it comes with the right arm mounted mini machine gun, the left arm mounted flamethrower, and it's a regular. And then for his vehicles, he took 2 additional Coyotes with the right arm mounted mini machine gun and the forward facing heavy machine guns. That's really cool. I like that. That's actually a light walker platoon. That's pretty cool. I can see the Pond Skater Scout Walkers. I know they're supposed to be like more for the Marine Corps, but I can see this really being used by like, you know, like cavalry scouts kind of thing, to replace like Greyhound reconnaissance vehicles, you know? I can see the Pond Skater Scout Walker being crewed by like a shit ton of E4s, just absolutely hell-bent on raising hell. In true Cav Scout way. Yeah, that's all 500 points, by the way. So because he paid the infantry tax, he took the cheapest crunchy that he could. You know, it's what, 105 points of troops? No, less than that. No, that's about right. Yeah, 35 for one squad, 35 for the second squad, and 35 for the second lieutenant. So yeah, he's only paying 105 points in infantry, and it's still 7 dice. Okay, yeah, I missed that. Yeah, he did pay for the light AT gun on the Pond Skater. Yeah. Yeah, I can literally see the Pond Skater, kind of like what the Sentinel Walkers used to be, you know, for 140k. Well, it's definitely where you'd put your independent troublemaker troops, you know, definitely like an E4 Mafia. That's definitely an E4 Mafia vehicle right there. Stalk around in front of your forces, kind of behind enemy lines, just raise merry hell. You show up and like the crew of the Pond Skater are all like dirty. They haven't shaved in 3 days. They're wearing like beanies, you know, chain smoking, trying to rig a still out of some copper wire. But you go to inspect their actual Pond Skater Walker, and it's like super clean. Every gun's been cleaned. All the ammo's accounted for. Like the Walker itself and the guns are fantastical, but the troops just look absolutely, you know, almost like oddball Sherman style. Just absolute laid back and chill. Somebody in Morning Glory's channel, I'll have to find it again, because I want to make sure I give credit where it's deserved. Someone in Morning Glory's group and community, he made a Sherman's, like an oddballs Sherman, you know, from Kelly's Heroes, but he did it with a Sentinel. Or no, I'm sorry, he built his Lehman Russes as walkers, and he made it kind of like the VTs or vertical tanks from Steel Battalion Heavy Arms or something like that, I think it was called. And so he actually built oddballs Sherman, but as a walker. So I'm expecting to see someone do that as well in Konflikt 47 with like a Grizzly or something like that, or probably. I would probably say with either like a Bruin or probably a Hornet. I could see them doing it with a Hornet would be really cool, like oddballs Hornet, you know? Have one dude like swinging on the outside with a Fez. You know, Squid Cutter Sean loves his Fez, you know, with a heavy machine gun. That's a cool list. That's a really good list. For Konflikt 47, 500 points, that is a dangerous list. I love it. Yeah, I'll have to track down who I want to make sure I get his name right, and make sure I give him credit for it. But yeah, I'd love to see someone do that for Konflikt 47. Yeah, we're talking about Kelly's Heroes, Oddball, and his crew, and that one guy wore a Fez. Yes, you can summon Squid Hunter Sean just by saying Fez. Marshall, that's what it was. I had a feeling it was Marshall. That was almost a year ago. Yeah, I had a feeling it was Marshall, but I wasn't sure. I know what his icon image looked like. I was trying to remember his name. I was pretty sure it was Marshall. I was also sad. I was supposed to hang out with Swark, but I got called into work, sadly. hoping I'll get to go visit Swart because he's down here in Florida. Hoping I'll get a chance to go visit him on Tuesday. So I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping I'm gonna get a chance to go visit him while he's here. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I'm not sure how much I like the red army. I'm still gotta get rid of all the tan to kind of see how it pops. You know, still not sure. I may do the armor light green maybe, and I may do her hat red instead of black. Really debating how I want to do it. It's the same thing I did with these guys, where I kind of like played around with it until I figured out exactly what I kind of wanted, you know? Yeah, it's generally how mine always come out kind of quite dark. I think I have to look at some art and figure out kind of exactly what I want to do. Okay, so the way they're supposed to be painted is actually... So the way they have them painted is their uniforms are light green and their armor is dark green. That actually looks pretty damn good. And their overcoats are green. I'll have to think about how I want these daughters painted. That's a curious one. Okay, okay, someone else kind of is doing what I'm thinking of. So I'm thinking the pants I may paint one color and still leave the chest red, like the chest armor red. Oh, okay, I kind of like that. Someone did the actual gear like leather as well. Then they did their coats green. I like leaving the leather coat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I may know how I'm gonna alter this one a little bit. Okay. I'll have to experiment and figure out kind of what I want. I'll experiment tomorrow and figure out exactly kind of how I want it looking. And once I get my... I think we'll start off the stream by building the British automated carrier, see how much I cuss, scream, and contemplate my life decisions. And then we'll figure out a finalized thing for this. Yeah, I want kind of like an undercover... Oh, hold on. Let me fix my face. There we go. I want kind of like a good tropical look, but also like an undercover kind of look as well. That's why I'm going with like the black hats and like the more leather trench coat, you know? It's not super undercover, but it does not exactly scream, but like when they open up the trench coat, you can tell they're wearing like fatigues. Probably try multiple versions, kind of figure out what we want. And what do y'all think? Gray for the hats? Or black? Let me know what you think, gray or black. Ooh, good call, Matt Larkin. That's pretty cool. Yeah, save the black for like an NCO. Let me take a look. So I was also thinking about we're about doing those ones red, but you don't see those red very much. Just the emblem on the front. Yep, so they do have an NCO. So yeah, do the NCO with the black one. Yeah, it's a good idea. That's a really good call. That way I can tell who's the NCO, who's not. I really like that. That's why, man, I love this. I love this chat so much. I love this paint stream. I get so many good ideas off you guys. It's like having a think tank. It's a really cool idea. Okay, that I like that a little bit. I actually like the plain green pants with maybe just the red top. That's actually a little bit cooler. No, when you offered to paint them, I wanted to, if you were cool with it, because I've seen your goblin work. That's why I requested you, you know, if you're going to be so kind as to paint a squad for me, if you don't mind painting some orcs. Just because I saw how well you did with goblins, I thought you'd crush on the orcs. I don't want to take advantage of your generosity, man, so I only sent you one squad. No, I like working on them. Besides, I guarantee you, well, all Konflikt 47 units are not going to get legend, like they'll be in the new edition. But I feel like the daughters are going to be kind of in the forefront for the Soviets. I think daughters and Soviet heavy infantry are going to be a big deal. You know what kind of look I was going for with the green and the trench coat? Kind of a rogue look, you know, from X-Men, kind of. A little bit, you know, with she always wore that coat. Same thing with Gambit. Well, her coat was yellow, but you know what I mean. Hey, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. We got a little bit of time left. Did a lot of list reviews today. That was actually a shit ton of fun. Well, I hope it was a good morning. And, you know, I hope it's busy in a good way. No such thing as ever being late, man. You're right on time. It's Tiki time, you know? I feel like Rogue had a leather coat. I know Gambit did. Damn it, now I gotta look this up. I know Jubilee had a yellow coat. Am I crazy, or was Jubilee Asian back in the day in the old cartoon? I feel like she was. Not that it's a big deal, but... Okay, yeah, you're right. She had that. She had more of a green coat. No, okay, no. There are some examples of her having a leather coat, almost more like a bomber jacket. I think she looks better with the bomber jacket. I always thought she ended up taking Gambit's jacket, but I guess not. Yeah, I think Rogue with the brown jacket looks way cooler. No, I still haven't fixed the merch. I know, I'm so far behind. I'm behind in videos, fixing the merch. I'm terrible, but I'm here. It's like the you ever see that meme about the vending machine where it's like there's no light inside but I still work? It's like, me too, vending machine, me too. It's like, oh, he's got a merch site. Yeah, but half the stuff's out of stock. Oh, he makes videos, yeah, but he hasn't made one in 5 months. Oh, but he streams, yeah, but late at night. Oh. I got you. I don't know. I may paint her. I may paint their actual like ammo pouches and lead gear. I may make those leather. I'm thinking that's probably what I end up doing. I think I like the leather look a lot. Because I feel like canvas pouches look more military, whereas like leather kind of looks more, almost more, especially in that area, would look more vaquero, you know? So I think that'd blend in better in like South America and the Caribbean. Yeah, I'm gonna paint those, all that leather. Yeah, give our leather. And this will probably be the sergeant, so they'll have a black hat. Yep. Alright, just planning exactly how I'm gonna execute that. For these guys, man, I have no idea how I want to do the Siberian Terrors. I'm thinking convict style, so I'm thinking orange pants, even though that wasn't what convicts wore back then. Thinking orange pants and almost like a blue skin, I think. Yeah, you know me, I'm a huge fan of using like different models for different systems and like especially terrain. It's like these zombies are absolutely D&D, or these mummies are absolutely D&D mummies. You know, Reaper miniatures. Super easy. You can see they fit just the right height. Yeah, pretty sure this is a Reaper miniature. I just put an assault rifle in his hand. Alright, so let me get some more. Let me paint that leather and see if I like it. Ooh, that's a good idea for the Siberian Terriers. Siberian Terrier, especially with the gore. If you do like a white snow base, do like a few drops of red like in the snow. That would be really, really cool. That's not a bad idea. That's a really cool idea, man. Alright. So yeah, so far I think we landed as still leather trench coat, dark green pants. That kind of match what the bears have. I think the red body armor. And NCO will have a black hat, everybody else will have gray, and I think the gear will be leather brown, the backpack will be tan. The little poncho rain liner will be green. We finished building him. Yeah, right now we're painting him. I'm trying to get like a master copy done, so I know how I want to paint the other ones. We did build the Siberian Terriers this stream. The two books, and they're actually, so I bought them myself to test, and they are available. So both the novels for Konflikt 47 are back available on Amazon. You can get them on Kindle or in print. The first one is called Seaforth Ladies. Seaforth, Seaforth, Seaforth Ladies. And the second book is Going Dutch. They are novels for Konflikt 47. I'll be honest, it's no Gaunt's Ghost, but it's pretty good. It feels like so the main character, you can tell, is a female literary version of War Daddy from Fury, but not like in a bad way, just like kind of like a nod to it, It does a good job of saying like why females are in it and why they're manning walkers. It makes a lot of sense. It does a really good job of detailing what like combined arms is like with Rift Tech weapons, at like what night raids are like with monster units and stuff, and it's pretty cool. I recommend it. They're short, very fast reads. Apparently it's a revised edition, so one big critique when they originally came out, I don't think it didn't bother me because I can't spell for shit myself. But apparently the spelling was really bad. There was a lot of like syntax errors. I don't know, I just read it, didn't really bug me, but I think they went back and fixed it. That's why it says revised on it now, so. All right, so we built our Siberian tears. I'll get them primed. We're working on our daughters now. Working on a master copy. So similar to how these guys were, I'll base it so I know what the color looks like when it's based. It's going to be the same type of basing for all my tropical units. So you know, a couple shades of this apple barrel Christmas green stuff, and then some green tufts on it. Simple, fast, easy. So we'll get that base, see what it looks like. Because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the boots. Because Soviets either had tall black boots, some also wore like brown boots. It's kind of weird. Then we'll figure out how we want this, how this master copy unit will work, and then we'll paint all the other ones. Because if I can get the daughters and the Siberian Terrors painted, that's 3 Soviet Rift Tech units, so I can start playing Konflikt 47 demo games with Soviets. Once I finish these guys, I can get my Americans on the table. So, we'll be good. That's a good. I haven't used any. Just like I haven't used any of. I think AK makes paint pens now. I haven't tried any of those yet. I use Gunpla, like markers, but I haven't used paint markers yet. So I don't know much about paint marker or texture rollers. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't want to give you bad intel. Lead you astray. Yes, Going Dutch, Mad Larkin is the second book. So the first one's Seaforth Ladies, the second one is Going Dutch. I need to go back and reread it. I remember a good amount of Seaforth Ladies. I don't remember anything from Going Dutch. I know I've read it, but I just can't remember anything. But it's because I read a lot of the lore in the books, and some of the lore in the books have like short stories. So I get like one thing that I thought happened in the book was actually in the rulebook. Hey, what's going on, Steven? Yeah, I'm glad you're off, man. Welcome to the welcome to Konflikt 47 Weekend Tiki Edition. Absolutely, brother. I'll be streaming again. I will be streaming again tomorrow. So I'm kind of adjusting the times as we go. I'm feeling the 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern is a good sweet spot. I feel like that's something I can commit to. I can do that. I can stay energized after work. Like I'm still good to do that. Hopefully I'm delivering a good enough product. The list building is awesome. I like the back and forth. So I think that works really well. I think that's the time we're going to kind of stick with for a while is 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern. It does also kind of mimic like the old Adult Swim Toonami Midnight Run that I kind of grew up with. So I'm really liking that vibe too. I feel like it's kind of a cool thing. It's super nice for me because it keeps me off the radar with YouTube. You know, not... It keeps the stream kind of almost more guerrilla style, you know, kind of subterranean. I know it's inconvenient for a lot of people, so those of you who do watch, I greatly appreciate it. For those of you who can't watch or always end up missing it, I totally understand, no worries. I know it's a weird time to stream, but nobody else streams during this time, so I like kind of not competing and kind of filling a niche role. So, and if you have to be off on the weekends, it gives you something to kind of tune into, you know, and chat with. For those of us who work night shifts, I always work night shifts. It's kind of nice to have. Because a lot of your other streams are all happening at the same time, so you're like, do I open up multiple browsers? What do I do? So this one's kind of nice at night. But the list, oh my god, the lists. Shout out again to Bad Rabbit and RK. They're coming to Clash at the Caribbean. So they showed me their ideas for 500-point bolt action list. They're both beautiful, thematic, and dangerous. Bad Rabbit is gonna murder with that 20 mil. Sweet mother of God, that Flak 38 is gonna kill somebody. Oh man, I'm worried for everybody. What a great thing to bring. Oh god, that thing's gonna be lethal. But like I said, sorry, I got distracted just thinking about Clash of the Caribbean, getting all the stuff ready. Just about done with all the terrain, and then that'll really be it. Let me catch up some other stuff. Paint markers, what do they do? It's for people like me who are terrible at painting with brushes. I'm sure it's for other people too. Really good for fine detail work. You can get ultra fine markers, and when you depress it against the model, it actually transfers a little bit of paint. A good example, I have these white ones that are really nice, and I give them to a lot of my guys who play Americans, because it's really good for marking the officer and NCO mark on the back of the helmets. Vertical for officer, horizontal for NCO. So it's super nice. Yeah, Mad Larkin, your E4 Mafia list was awesome. Your Light Walker platoon. Your other platoon you made was super realistic, and the one that had the Bruin, the Pawn Skater, and the Heavy Infantry, you'll run into that when you read those books. But like I said, we'll be streaming again tomorrow. It was a fun stream this time. Covered lots of lists, built some models, and started tossing around some ideas on how to paint the daughters. So I'm really excited about doing more and more Konflikt in the stream. You know, answering a lot of questions about Konflikt or bolt action, actually painting Konflikt 47 models. But I will pick it back up again tomorrow, 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern. For these guys who are headed to sleep, I hope you get the sleep you deserve. I hope it's good, actual REM sleep. Good dreams, nothing but good dreams. For those guys headed to work, I'm sorry that your train misses connection. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope you guys are, riding transit to work. I hope all your connections are on time. I hope you have a whole row of seats to yourself. Maybe someone leaves a newspaper behind that you can read, And as always, I hope you guys stay safe, stay hydrated. Don't forget to relax today, because you're on Tiki time.
Smiles, no war drums, just beach for miles. Ghost Park by Tiki lights, shadows dance in tropic nights. Stand beneath where boots once stood, paradise ain't so misunderstood. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons. Forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Bunkers built from palm and hope, coconuts and crude soap. Imperial dreams fade in sun, warriors turn beach bums. Shine to ocean gods we raise, praying for forgotten days. Sake in the campfire glow, life's a surfboard ebb and flow. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons. Forgot to find in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands.